The Australian Senate has just passed both the government's gun reform and anti-hate bills. This is hours after the Australian lower house of representatives passed the bills in Parliament. New laws come as the government moves to address gun violence following last month's terror attack at Bondi Beach. Roger Maynard has this report for CNA from Sydney.
After several days of uncertainty over the future of the government's hate speech laws, both sides of the political fence have negotiated an agreement. It means that the Labor government and the opposition will press ahead with the legislation which is designed to crack down on extremism and reform gun laws. Critics had argued that parts of the legislation were a threat to freedom of speech. In the end, the Prime Minister agreed to delete one of the more contentious clauses which could have meant the imprisonment of those who were seen as promoting racial hatred. In further negotiations over the past 24 hours, the government agreed to other amendments which seemed to satisfy Liberal leader Suzanne Lee, although there are still members of the opposition who are uncomfortable with the latest accommodations. This applies especially to politicians who represent rural areas and where farmers argue that they are being unfairly penalised for what happened at Bondi Beach last month when two terrorists shot dead 15 people at a Jewish festival. But while not everyone's happy with the legislation, the fact it's been accepted by the House of Representatives before being passed on to the Senate for its approval will be seen as a win for the government and also for the opposition, given the intense debate it's generated here. It may be a watered-down version of the original bill, but it'll be welcomed as a step in the right direction. In a practical sense, it'll give the authorities power to deny or cancel visas to people with extremist views, particularly so-called hate preachers. It'll also allow for enhanced background checks on gun licence holders and impose greater restrictions on the type of firearms that can be imported into the country. In truth, this is only the first step in the government's long-term strategy. A Royal Commission of Inquiry will examine the rise of anti-Semitism, which is partly blamed for last month's attack. And there'll be a thorough investigation into why the security and intelligence services here failed to pick up on the threat imposed by the father and son gunmen, who are alleged to have been inspired by extremist organisations such as Islamic State. There are still many issues to be addressed and many questions to be answered after this, the worst terrorist attack on Australian soil. Roger Maynard, CNA, Sydney.